Nick from HiFi Collective here. Just returned from a really good trip to Sweden. We went to see Lundahl Transformers. Now Lundahl is basically a transformer company. They make all sorts of transformers, outputs, inputs, line level, moving coil, mains transformers and chokes. The trip was amazing. So we got picked up from the airport at Stockholm and we took a trip to Lundahl. Apologies for the mispronunciation, probably mispronounced that for sure. This is an example of a transformer that Lundahl make. This is an output transformer. It's the LL2785C, and this one is actually used in the LE kit, the TU8900E. So we did a big kind of visit to Lundahl because we are now proud to announce we are a distributor for Lundahl. We're going to build stocks up slowly as we get familiar with the product. There's certain things you need to know if you're going to choose to purchase a Lundahl transformer, but I'm going to be making more videos about that. So effectively we rocked up about 11 o'clock on Thursday and we arrived at originally it was the family house of Lars Lundahl, who created the company in 1958. And over time it's built up machines, productions, and now they're a big company. The house is a lot bigger. In fact, Lars's wife still lives there in a portion of the house. But there's 30 staff and it's a big area and it was lovely and warm. I mean, Sweden in January you'd think it's cold, but no, they leave the heating on all the time. So the wonderful thing that I found about Lundahl was they're so friendly and the amazing engineering thing they do is there's about 40 processes to making a transformer like this. Now you'd think they just buy all the parts and assembly them. No, they actually manufacture and produce the parts that make up this transformer in-house. And they have a guy, I didn't meet him, but basically he has his own tool shop and he makes the machines for every single process. So although there's a lot of labor involved in making a transformer, they have machines that do amazing things. We're talking Heath Robinson, so good. So for example, you can see the core material here. So this is a double C core. It's basically made of long strips of iron and it's wound round. So they don't buy those in, they actually buy big old reels of iron and they cut it to size and they have a machine that winds it and it comes like this, shaped like that. And then they cut it in half and then they heat treat it and then they polish it and it's like, wow, you know. And then even, for example, this board, so they have a machine that has everything lined up. So this is a cardboard kind of impregnated where you have all the lead outs come in and they have a drill file that comes in. So they have a machine that kind of bolts on. See this, this keeps it all together and it has high tension device that brings it all together and seals it. They have solder dipping machines. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move over to kind of a slideshow, a bit of a video. I'm going to do a voiceover with a bit of a video so we can point and say, right, this is what this machine does. But overall, it was amazing. We were there 5 hours. They provided a lovely lunch. We had fika. Fika is a Scandinavian thing. Basically, it's coffee and cake and really, really nice cakes. Then we saw Helino, who's the CEO, and Maria, who is the CMO, Chief Marketing Officer. And they took us to the ABBA Museum. Brilliant. So we're going to leave a little picture of us I took my girl Kathy with me because she speaks Swedish. No, she doesn't. Anyway, so let's go through the slideshow and see the other end. Okay, so we're going to start the slideshow now, and there is a bit of video. So this is Kathy and me. We've arrived at Arlanda. We had a 4 o'clock wake up to get a really early flight into Stockholm airport. We flew SAS, which was awesome. I've always wanted to fly with them. They gave you free tea and coffee. Awesome. Now this is the house, originally the dwelling for the family, Lars Lundahl. Per is Lars' son, he's still working there. There's bits being added onto this building over the years. Per's mother lives on site. It was about 1 degree when we arrived, pretty cold. Here we have Helena, who is the CEO of Lundahl, and then there's Kathy. She hired a Subaru to pick us up, which is cool. Here's Kathy having a chat with Futura, who is the production manager, and then the lady in wearing all black is Maria, and she is the chief media officer. And then here we have the initial store where things come in. And then this is basically the sheet that you can see on the table is iron, which is used as the core material. So they cut that down. You can see that there's kind of 2 reels there to the right length, sorry, the right width. And then this is used to fabricate the core material, which is these bits here. If you look carefully, you can actually see the laminations. So they have a machine that just creates that, which is pretty amazing. And then they do certain other processes to it. And then here we have a part of the workshop where they have a machine that pre-drills this cardboard material here. So the wires come through. So obviously these wires are coming off the laminations in the transformer. And then there is the actual drilling machine there. So this card is pre-cut. They do cut that there as well, and it just goes through, drilled, cut, drilled, cut. So they probably have quite a few different sizes because they do a lot of. So here we have basically nearly finished transformer there. So these are dipped in resin, which is warmed up just to hold the wires in place. There's no vibration. And then from there, they sit in there for about 20-30 minutes. And then from there, there's some resin that they pour in. And then it's served for a final kind of heat up. This is actually a bread oven. So they put the transformers in there. I think it's at about 85 degrees C. So that cooks in there for a bit. Oh, this is the board, the big sheets of this cardboard material, which they have a cutter there, which cuts it to size. And then here we have some laminations. Now you can see that this is just one piece, kind of a squashed donut. So these are kind of held in place like this. I think this part they've actually been heat treated. So there was an oven, which I don't know if I've got a picture of, that basically heats them up. I think it was at 795 degrees for a half hour. So it brings all the metals together and keeps it firm. And then from there, they have a cutting machine that cuts it in half because it's a core material. Has to be in 2 parts because it needs an air gap. So here is basically a storeroom for all the different kind of lambs there. You can see core material. And here's one, I mean, this one's a bit broken. You can see chips there. So this is kind of a reject. But you can see this is a core material. It's been cut in half after heat treatment, and it's polished. So the lines there where the 2 C's come together, that is highly polished. So it's incredibly flat because obviously they change the air gap depending on what current goes through the transformer. Here we have the copper wire store, lots of different sizes. And then this is the chap that basically does the polishing of the 2 C cores where they come together. And here he's I think we're in the same room here, and he puts them to the side once they're married up. So I think he does like one pair at a time. Obviously they have to be kept together because they're part of the same unit. Well, a bit noisy.
Noise comes from there's two lights.
Here we have the excess transformers. They make a few extra and then just sit them in a room to be sold. And then here we have the insulation material, which is a plastic. So they buy it in big strips like this, and then they cut it to size in this machine. Then, I'm not sure what this machine did. It's like a cutter, a drill. Yeah, there's a drill thing going on there. So what the amazing thing was about the factory was they actually make their tools in-house. Over the years, you know, they have a little, not to replace humans, but to assist humans doing a procedure that's quite intricate, and then they will create a machine. I mean, this guy's got some serious tools going on. I mean, he had a big room with a lathe and all sorts going on. This is a bobbin winding machine, and this is the original bobbin winding machine, and these are finished bobbins, all the wires coming out for each of the interleaved. And this is the machine that you see, the metal strip here that keeps it all together. This brings it in, so it creates the torque and keeps it a tight wind. So this is a bobbin winding machine, one of their modern ones. So you can see they wind, there's 6 reels of copper here, and they wind 6 bobbins at a time. So it's kind of computer fed as well. Coding it for the counting.
Yeah.
So tension has to be spot on all the time.
All the time. There is a recipe in the computer, and it steers the machine. These machines are also built here. This is the third generation of our own winding machine. The older generation, the generation 2, they had our own motors. At that time, end of 70s, early 80s, there wasn't so large and powerful step motors. And past that, he thought, okay, I will build them by myself, and he did.
So then she's just cut short there.
Yeah, that's the first layer, very first layer.
And then it's wired up later.
We can wait to the next.
There's some more winding machines. And then this is the machine that basically you can't see it so much there. But on this piece, in fact, I think it's the next one you can see it properly. I know you can't. So there are pins coming out of here. So they make these pins via a machine, which you use to do solder points. Not so much on the mains on the output transformers, but say for the moving coil and the line level ones, line outputs. So this is Vittori just running across. They do a bit of testing here. I think this is the pin making machine. And then this is where, see this area in the middle, that's actually a solder bath. So I said, how deep is the solder bath? And then Mirza, the chief operating officer, said, well, put your finger in to find out. And obviously I know that that's molten solder, so 300 degrees, something like that. So that is really quite deep. But what they do, they dip parts that need to be soldered in there, leave it for a couple of seconds, and it's done. And then there's the underside of the solder bath, so you can see how deep it is. And then this is interesting, they put IPA. So Sweden makes a good pint. There's plenty of IPA out there, as we discovered. So this is kind of a good example of how intricate their machines are. I can't remember what that machine does. I think it's to do with the pin making. And they had a machine that actually winds on a reel of labels and actually peels it off for you. So all you have to do is put your finger on and pull them off. And then there's the crew. So you've got Christian, he's in the tech department. Mirza, he's the CEO. Sorry, he's the Chief Operating Officer. There's me. Helena is the CEO. And Per Lundahl is the son of Lars. He does a couple of days a week, but he's stepping away from the company, but still very much involved. And there's another one of us. And there's another one of us. And then to wrap it up, Helena and Maria took us to the ABBA Museum. So this is a Land Rover that featured in Mamma Mia. And there we are, all looking very happy. Just before I sign off, I want to say a big thank you for watching our videos. Like and subscribe, and follow us on all the social network platforms. See you later.